Welcome. Today I'm at Riverside State Park in Spokane. This is the trail to the Cove. I've been here twice before, but never to go hiking. The Cove is a very popular place to go swimming in the summertime. A lot of people will hike there because it's so short from their parking lot, which is not currently accessible. I parked back there. It's a very short hike or walk, if you will, to the popular island Cove destination. And it's beautiful, and the water in the summertime is really nice. So that's my experience. Today we are going to be exploring this beautiful forest. I actually don't know how far the trail goes. I probably should have mapped it out. I don't think it's very long. I think it's maybe less than 2 miles. And according to organic maps, those 2 miles are the end. It's an out and back kind of thing, though. If you know about Riverside State Park, a lot of this area is contiguous, and it's I think considered one of the largest state parks in Washington State as well. So it's quite remarkable terrain to think about and conceptualize. But I guess that's part of the joy of what we're doing today. Getting down in there, exploring. I may go off trail a little bit. I don't know. The map is a lot of boulders, a lot of rocky formations, which I was already familiar with from my previous experiences here. It's kind of like a patchwork, if you will, a little mosaic of these really beautiful boulders. And yeah, they seem very kind of explorable, I guess I would say. It is a Saturday. It is before 8 a.m., but I might as well still point out that sign exists. And from my experience, that sign is often ignored in this area, for better and for worse. I also saw in my apartment parking lot, as I was locking my door and heading down to load up in the car, a pileated woodpecker just on the tree of the apartment building complex, and I took that as a positive sign. It has been pretty cold and intense here in Spokane the last couple of weeks, but the last couple of days it's started to trend towards a very springtime weather, and feeling it today for sure. And I'm not sure if the GoPro will pick it up, but there's a lot of bird song this morning. Love is in the air. Another popular thing that is done around these parts is cliff jumping. And I've heard of the stories of significant injury and death. I have been here while people have been doing that. I do not do that due to certain things I will not disclose, but yeah, it's just another kind of dynamic of this kind of corner of the park and the riverside in general. So I'm gonna keep walking a bit and figure my life out here and take a look at the map, and then we'll see what's up. Well, it says it's a 1 mile hike to the end of this trail, whatever this trail is. And again, that's using organic maps. That's the free app, completely free, open source maps are used. The OpenStreetMap platform, if you're familiar with that, then you know what's up. If you're not familiar with that, then you have an opportunity. So that's just to the end of the trail. As you can see from even here, I haven't gone that far since my last recording. We've got all this nice rock here and potential paths throughout here. In general, I'm an advocate for sticking to the paths. Humans have caused so much damage to everything that they get their paws on. That being said, this area in particular is in a pretty robust environment, I would say, based on my limited knowledge. And one person carefully treading across ponderosa forest floor, I don't think is going to make or break the environment. So that's kind of my personal stance on it. There's probably laws involved and maybe problems with that. So if there are, let me know. But I will ask forgiveness over permission with that. That being said, some of these, now that we're getting closer, some of these rock formations are particularly they're interesting and beautiful and complex. And you know, if I was to go through there, which I, you know, very well might go through something like that later, what does that mean? You know, got to make sure I can get out of wherever I go into, get down from whatever I go up, and vice versa. That is always kind of the challenge of open wandering and exploring, especially when it's rock. In my last recording, I was down in the desert. That type of wandering, there are some risks with that, but also some things that are not super risky. I'll also point out that these tire tracks are relatively fresh. I don't know if they're today or not, but these are probably from forest rangers doing a round. I have never been over here. The turnoff to the jumping area is back there, so this is all kind of new for me. And looks like we'll get right up to the water here in a minute. Utterly gorgeous. This area, you can see the Spokane River here, completely frozen over. Humans have tracked here. My friend actually came out here last weekend and was like, the river's frozen, you can even go on it. And that may have been the case then, but I would not trust going on that now. It has warmed up so much. That being said, it is pretty cool to see a frozen river with what looks like human tracks over there, though probably can't get close enough to see. And this is all beach, you know, this is all area that's popular in the summertime, and right now is not. I was the only one that parked here. Certainly earlier than some people's schedules, but sometimes I'm astounded by Spokane, and despite how active people are out here, how often solitudinal these public spaces are, these state parks and conservation areas. Depending on the day and the season, it's even more remarkable. Like a weekend day like today, you know, I feel like I didn't get here early. I got here around 7:45, but that apparently is earlier than anyone else. I think I just saw another couple either woodpeckers or something. They've got white on their tails. They're way over there flying off. Maybe they're not woodpeckers, but yeah, that's the other thing. There's the potential for birds, deer, moose, cougar, all sorts of stuff out here. And you know, if there isn't some madman going on about how early they've got here, sightings of these creatures, these forest spirits, might be a little bit easier. So I'm gonna proceed on here. I just did this kind of little loop, pretty simple, nothing complex with this hike so far, but it does kind of wrap around here, and the end of the trail that's about a mile from the beginning to end, it goes on over here. So for the record, this is the trail that goes to the end on organic maps. It is a fully marked trail on the map, but it very clearly is not anything here right now. Though without the blanket of snow, it very well might be something. So I'm heading off into the not so beaten path. There's some footprints, maybe a few days old. They're in the snow, so they probably within the last week. It had there was some light snowfall a few days ago, so that's probably where those are from. There's a ton of geese over there on the beach. I'm both hesitant and curious regarding that. And otherwise, there's just these patches of water, standing water here. You might know the term slush. I grew up in New England with slush everywhere. And, yeah, I've returned to it here. This fallen ponderosa, rest in power, old friend. Turn to slush in Spokane. Slushless in Spokane. Not today. Though these kind of shoulder season days where things could go either way are always fascinating to me, with the potential for precipitation. Got a smaller track here now. Not sure what that is because you can't really see, but those tracks are so close to each other. Part of me wonders what kind of animal is that. Also, probably from within the last week. Shoulder season. So now it appears like the trail is heading up into the forest, and particularly away from the water, which I wasn't quite sure about. So part of me is very curious about where this winds up. So I'm gonna put in my upward steps here as we gain some elevation and see what's up through the trees here. Well, I've gone up about probably 100 feet gain, which in snow and slush is not fun. There's some really nice rock formations over there. And on my map, basically between here and the parking lot, to not go back down to the water, but to cut straight across, there's an indicated blue formation. Some kind of water is my guess. And might be able to get access to that. That is in the middle of an off-trail area. So forgive me again if you're watching this, have thoughts or opinions or beliefs or whatever. That will come in a bit. But right now, it almost looks like I'm climbing to some kind of viewpoint. That is my current guess. But I don't know. The other thing is, despite how solitudinal it feels up here, you can still hear cars. The other side of the river over there is inhabited with a few houses. The road to get here is, I'd say it's about 10 miles or so of relatively sparsely populated land, but also that road is probably what I'm hearing when I hear engines roaring in the distance. So people go on these roads, do things on them. The auditory disturbance is very real. So it's kind of leveled out now. I'm going to keep walking on this. It almost seems like an old forest road, or I don't know, private drive or something. Be interesting to learn more about the state parks, and if they acquired the roads or if they built them or what. But for now, I'll keep going forward. There's a pretty big dip in this road trail here, and according to my map, again, organic maps, the trail ends here, but in real life, in person, this trail keeps on going. And I'm not sure if I have service, but part of me wants to look up the hiking map from the state park and see what's up over here, because a couple things I've noticed. One, there's a lot of cut trees. Though that section there is pretty wild. What would cause all of that? Wind? Significant snow? I don't know. And then there's also the old trail, old footprints in the snow are continuing on here. It makes me wonder if it's a connector to a neighborhood or a private property. But the other thing is that there's no signage. There's no signage about the state park ending or boundary or anything. As I mentioned earlier, there's no quality, no marker to this path, this trail. So that's kind of the other thing I've noticed about both Eastern Washington and Bigfoot, perhaps Eastern Washington or northern Idaho, panhandle of Idaho, is that sometimes the signage is a little bit minimal, which, you know, in some ways it's great, in other ways not great. Yeah, I don't know where this is going to turn up, but I'm going to check to see if I have the ability to access the state park map. I think, especially if this ends up being just flat, young ponderosa forest, you can see more of the cut trees here. Seems like a popular logging site. But if it's just going to keep going like this, I may turn back and check out the more interesting rock formations, which, you know, I wasn't sure how extensive this area was. If it was huge or just a small corner of the overall river scene, but the Cove area in particular appears to be quite small, which I think is encouraging me to do that other exploration. One more thing before I push forward. I have noticed deer track. I noticed what looks like some other type. That could be deer that's just melted. Could also be moose that is otherwise not quite discernible. But no vision of any mammals out here, which makes me wonder. It's also quite warm, so who knows. But it would be particularly amazing to see some sign of life other than the beautiful plants. So yeah, I'll leave it there. Well, found the sign, riddled with seemingly ancient bullet holes. Some nice smaller holes. I don't know what made those. This is the West South Bank Road. I actually should have just zoomed around a little bit differently on the map, and I would have found this. Organic Maps in all of its glory also does not have the trail listed connecting to this road, so there's a little bit of a inconsistency, lack of comprehensiveness there. But yeah, it's not that far. It was like, I think the total connection time was maybe half a mile at most. So I'm not going to walk down that road because that will take me out of the park and into the land of private property. But I am going to head back to those rock formations, and my goal right now is to find that water, check out what that is. It's very small. I'm not expecting a whole lot with that. And then cut back down to the proper Cove area and just explore a little bit on the rock down there, which is right along the river. It should be pretty scenic, assuming there's no risk at disturbing the birds that are doing what they're doing there. So yeah, it's going to be another slog through this soft, wet snow, and should take about 15 minutes to get back to all of the rock, where the rock begins and the flat young ponderosa forest ends. And maybe I will be graced with something more of interest, but for now, this is what we're dealing with. I forgot to show this when I walked by it the first time, but here's another great example of the kind of DIY style approach that the parks seemingly take. We've got this kind of stripped log here, which is serving as one barrier for motorized vehicles. And hey, this just random concrete block. Hopefully that works. Meanwhile, if you wanted, I'm not going to show it. It's just obvious. All right, more GoPro issues. So I am now walking off trail. It appears that this section is all young, logged ponderosa forest. There's I saw a trail of other footprints like off trail there. Whatever these are, it looks like deer prints. Yeah, I'm not quite at the area I was at before when I was thinking about cutting over to that water body, but it looks like I can do so from here. And I see some rock formations. I should be looking at my footing here, but I see the rock formations over there. So the map shows that if I do walk this way, I will get to basically the rock that's above the cove where that water body is. And also the sun is coming out a little bit, which is nice. And that means that I'm warming up a bit. Not sure what that'll mean for the local mammal population, but they are certainly out here. See plenty of trail. Yeah, maybe I'll encounter something. Who knows? Yeah, my goal now is just to get over to those rocks and start making my way through them. Hopefully it's passable, and not a labyrinth that ultimately wrecks me. Ooh, these are bigger dirt tracks here. I think these might be, well, they actually look like footprints. Someone else has been out here. I'm not an original human being at all. All right. Yeah, let's see what we find. Getting into the rock section now. Beautiful, beautiful formations. All in the forest here. This, I guess, is where we might say the labyrinth is starting. And I do wonder if this is considered like a home or haven for any other beings. The tracks certainly indicate that things hang out in this area. It's interesting though, because it's not like on the water, you know? So is it because the rocks maybe offer some protection from the wind? Or this vegetation is delicious? Or maybe just enjoying the scenery like me. Maybe it's more of a aesthetic thing. Or maybe it's just comfortable being in amongst the boulders. I'm not sure. I don't think we'll ever know. Unfortunately, it does look like this area as well has been impacted by human participation in logging. And I wonder also is it all for fuel / sourced lumber, or could it also have to do with various fire prevention methods, forest thinning? I imagine that's not the case with the larger trees, but what do I know? So yeah, now we are clearly in what appears to be the, as I defined it, labyrinth of these boulders. And I also think about bouldering and the bouldering community that exists on this river, the climbing community in general. I've heard that there are various hot spots for bouldering out here. Obviously not during this season, but it does make me wonder. So my goal now is to double check the map, and I can certainly keep following what is this flat area in between these formations, which is very convenient. But it also may benefit me to do some up and over, or the water might be up or down. I don't know. Got to check it. So it's nice to know that I'm actually following what appears to be a major thoroughfare for deer here. It would be great to witness being witnessed by a deer, but I don't know. There's no sign of them other than the trail, and they go up there. They're here. This is like a deer highway as far as I'm concerned, but no other sign, no fresh scat, no visual signs or cues, no sound, crinkling of anything other than my own boots. But these trails do seem fresh, and it makes me wonder if maybe there was some nocturnal activity or early morning activity. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. You can see that these have been established routes for rope climbing. So this is what I'm talking about with the bouldering and climbing community. This is one of those spots. I'm trying to see if this wall has anything, but yep, it's all bolted in. God, I can't imagine doing that, but I do love to see people exhibiting their interest in going up and over. And also, like, it seems like this is a really ideal area with all of the ins and outs that I'm also taking advantage of to make it pretty easy to do a intense activity like climbing. So I did also double check in the that water body is accessible on the map. Again, caveat with the map being maybe not fully accurate, but with the map it did look like I didn't have to go across boulders to make my way to that water. So my goal is to just follow this and hopefully follow it around. It does look like these formations might be the height of this area, and everything else is going to be below here. So that's something I'm trying to keep in mind too. Do I want to go down if I have to eventually go back up? So frequent map checking is the name of the game here. This looks like an actual, like a legitimate trail. I mean, it's just so perfect. I know the snow might make it seem a little bit more pronounced than it could be, but I would be curious to come back here in the summer, see if this is a defined trail or not. So it does show that you can basically get to the water body by going down this flat path and turning left up there. But for fun, I see a little crack in the boulders up here. As long as it's not me quote unquote bouldering, if I can get over to the water from this angle, I think that would be pretty awesome. Very well might not work, but like, that's an amazing crack right there. Wow. Just imagine figuring that out. The moss would be hell, but all right. Brush here, a lot of brush. That might be another alternative route if I can't make it through this. Oh, it looks like it goes all the way through. Now the question is, what's on the other side? No animal has really come over here, so it might be precarious. Might be impassable. Oh, yeah, it's gorgeous. Oh, it's sketchy. That's really sketchy. The problem is it's hard to tell what's right on the other side of that, but also could go up and to the right, up that snow on top of this boulder, which I guess the question is, can I get back up? It seems pretty likely, unless there's some kind of something happens with the stability of the rock. Just check to see if I have service in case I have to call for help. I do. Alright, so I'm gonna try this. Oh, and this is all like wet snow. And you can tell that, oh yeah, there's like a hole right there. So it's like what you step on might not be, oh, what you get. Kill the cameraman. Okay, yes, that could be a nice den for something. Sorry if you're in there. Oh yeah, well that's not happening. Holy shit. Wow, that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's got to be like 20-foot drop to the first ledge, and then it just keeps going. Now this is kind of sketchy. Ooh, all that moss. Okay, that's all rock there. That's all rock there. The question again is, if I go up, can I get down? Let's see if we slowly make our way here. Looks beautiful up here. I feel like it might be a slippery descent if I have to come back this way, but it also might very well just be an opening up there. So if I do this, it may or may not be helpful later or right now. I guess I need to somehow get both legs. How can I do this with the camera? I guess I am doing some bouldering, aren't I? There's no real good hold here though. Like how to leverage, just gotta. Oh gosh, all right, I made it up. All right, I'm up here. If that drop was that steep, my guess is that any other drop might also be as steep, and might not be able to get down another way, honestly. Yeah, that's like sketchy there. And there's clearly, without bouldering on this cold, wet rock, which I'm not going to do, there's no way to get up and over that. Oh, let's see what's over here. Oh, yeah. I will say it would be fun to boulder over here with other people. And it's like, so that's where I came from. That all looks certifiably sketchy as hell with the snow and the drops. Again, it could be a thing. Yeah, that's terrifying. Could be a thing to try to get up this and up and over in a warmer, more conducive climate. But right now, no. So what I'm going to do is make my way back. Now, the only major problem with going down the way that I came up, if it wasn't apparent, is that it's slick. It's really slick. And so I might slide a bit. I may slide, I'm not going to slide that way. I may slide like down into that crevice. And unfortunately, I don't think I can do this with the camera in my hand. It's just a little bit too sketchy. So what I'm going to do is turn that off and pocket it and throw this bad boy down to the side there, and then be able to use all 4 points of contact. It's going to be cold, probably going to get a little bit soaked here, but I think that's what has to happen with this one. Well, I definitely slid. I kind of just couldn't, as I was kind of imagining, I couldn't really stop, and I just landed here. I did take out a chunk of moss. I do apologize, moss, for that. Fortunately, the moss is very prevalent here. All right, so this adventure, this path in the labyrinth clearly came to a beautiful dead end. Really fun, but did not get us to the water body. I should have actually looked to see if I could see from up there what the water body was on the map. My thought or feeling is it could also just be like a marsh, patch of marsh, and not actually any standing water visible to the eye. But I think I'll find out in about 2 to 3 minutes what I have been looking for. So there's other track here. Again, these seem like real trails. It's kind of funky. And this also is just about to the water area. I did also look at the map and notice that if I want to get back down to the Cove, like walking through this water area is a way to go. So that's my goal. And I am now seeing, probably impossible with the GoPro, but I am now seeing what is definitely a snowed over patch of surface. Here it is. Wow. It exists. This body of water exists. I feel like I probably could have seen it from up there. I think I was up there because I think that crack there, that's what I did not want to die in. And I think I was just up there a minute ago. And here, I probably could have honestly seen it if I had thought to open my mind to such things. And then you can see tons of game trail on there. It looks like if I want to proceed, I will need to go down here. Now this is deceptively terrifying because it's a good 3 to 4 foot drop here, and it's on an angle incline going down there. And I guess I could try to go up and hit that rock. That might actually be easier, but this could all be very icy, very slippery. So it might just be like a slide on the butt kind of thing. Well, let's try it with the camera in hand. I also don't like going up more because that could mean I could potentially slide more, and I need to be careful with that personally for personal reasons. Oh, good, but didn't scrape myself, but got my hand cold on that granite. Oh. All right. Now to proceed down here. Whoa. Wow. This is from a beaver. Wow. It's really quiet because this could be an active den right now. Like, I would not be surprised. Wow, look at that. That's amazing. I don't know what does that, but it's astounding. All right, we found this destination. And now from up here, the next question is, will I be able to get down to the water or not? It seems like it could be a gradual decline over there, or it could very well be more drops. So not out of the, what would I say? Well, not out of the labyrinth yet, I don't think. All right. almost looks like red holly. Does holly get red in the winter? Is a new question I have. Is this all a whole patch of holly? A whole holly patch. Okay, I'm gonna make my way down this. Probably turn the camera back on when I get to the bottom of it, since it's probably just gonna be filled with brush and me mumbling curses to myself. But I just want to point out that this whole area, like, I went through one sequence of boulder traversing, and this is all here for future exploration. Again, controversial to be off trail and exploring, but yeah, it is here. That is true. That is a true statement. All right. All right, so I came from up there. Again, maybe a trail, maybe not. In the summertime, have to come back and see. But I will say that it is not an obvious offshoot from the road, which is right here. This is what I was walking on, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes ago. But I'm now connected back to the road, which is nice. It gives me a little bit of glee or hope. This also is not the section of the road that I was on before. The end shot that does that connector trail is back there, but this does loop around and continues back down to the Cove area and back to the parking lot ultimately. So you can see the outhouse. I'm not sure if that showed up in video earlier, but I'm basically going to cut over to that outhouse, and then I'm going to cut over to the beach. I'm going to try to get to the water where the birds are without getting close to the birds, and then make my way back through that frozen section and explore that a little bit before making my way to the other major cove area, the area of all of the jumping and the swimming and partying and all that, the area that is what this place is known for. And then, yeah, that'll probably be it for today. Spokane River. Time for some river footage here. I'll get down this without breaking my ankle. Oh. And that's the roost over there. The geese and the goslings. You can see some of the abodes. It's pretty remarkable that there's only a couple houses out there. For me, I would think that more people would go. Like, it'd be very viral kind of thing, development thing. It's so bizarre to be on like a beach. I don't even know. I mean, you can kind of see the water line here. I think it's where the stones are, honestly. It stinks down here. It stinks like almost like maritime ocean smell, maybe as a result of the birds or something. But yeah, it's pretty frozen. Not frozen enough now for any traversing, but still a very unique sight to behold. To see a major river that's frozen not far from amazing rock structures. Oh, there's like another 50 birds or something. That might be an overstatement, but they're all on their way to where they need to be. We're getting back to that area I had pointed out earlier, which is the far end of the cove. The cove proper. The actual cove is on the other side of this. Oh, here they are. Let's hope they don't poop on me. strange. They almost seem to be like they did a circle. Now, are they gonna land? It must be so fascinating. It's like that new robot movie, like almost like the collective coming together. What do the geese on ground think about this new cluster who they may never see again? Yeah. And they land. And they all land on the ice. And we'll leave them to it. So basically my goal now, it's going to be more well-trodden than any other thing I've seen yet, but my goal is to just kind of meander these rocks, check out what's going on up there, take a look at the island and the cove on the other side somehow, whichever way is safe and possible. And that, I think, will be my last moment out here in this part of Riverside State Park. Well, can't get around that way without potential submersion there and there, honestly, and there. So I think I'm gonna have to do the long way around, which may be the main trail to getting over to the other side, honestly. Looks like another potential beaver dam / den. Going up through those rocks next. I'm on the other side now. The main area is through those trees. This is coming at it from an angle I haven't been before. But I think I might be able to get a great vantage up there. And it doesn't look terribly sketchy from what I can see to get up there. So my goal here again is not to put myself in risk today. I'm out here alone, sliding around on slippery rocks and injuring myself is not what I'm trying to do. So again, if I determine that things are not possible, I will turn around. I've also realized I only have a little bit of time left on my card, my memory card, so this may be a thing where I can't record everything. But I will record this part because even from here, there's the cove. Very difficult to see, but it's there. That area is the classic area. People do climb this whole tall formation and jump off the top of that, and I imagine people may do the same from here, though right now it's looking pretty wet with the lichen and potential moss. It might not be a good idea, but I think I'm gonna try. I'm gonna leave my pole down below. I think I'm gonna try to go up there for that vantage. Just kidding, I did not leave my pole down below. It is slippery, but not impossible. And the lichen, I think, is contributing to what is causing me to slip and slide. But this, oh yeah, this is it. This is what I wanted. This is that last view. Here we go. There's the cove. Utterly gorgeous, gorgeous natural formation. That is technically an island. There is a section that is just out of view from here that is essentially a place where people put logs down to cross. I have floated in this. I have seen people jump off into this from the cliffs over there. I've seen boats come up and have people jumping off into this section. It's just a marvelous thing, and unfortunately I can't really get any closer to the edge without freaking myself out. So this is the view, but I think we did it for today. Unless I see something to do beyond this video, I think I'll probably call the video for today and just make my way back. Thanks for watching. If you're seeing this online, if I have a question that you want to answer, or if you have a comment that you want an answer to, let me know. But until next time.